Well, boys and girls, look at what we've got going on this mighty fine. So, let me turn the notifications off right off the ripper because, I'm not that bright, Mr. Love Jones. I apologize on starting off that way. But look at
It's
this
all good.
beautiful day. It's a gorgeous Saturday. This is Stirring the Pot with Don
Mm.
Kincaid and my very, very special guest, one Mike Love Jones. What's up, my man?
What is up, Mr. Don? I am humbled to be here, Daddy. It feels so good to come from Nirvana right to your living room, baby. We are here. We're gonna have fun and feel the love. Woo!
Uh, we absolutely will. And I've been looking forward to this because I've met Mr. Love Jones only once at ACW. We're going to talk about that. But
Hmm.
your vibe, my man, you come out, you're dancing, you're clapping. The fans are with you. We're having a lot of fun. You've got this whole thing you're involved with called the Fun House. We're going to talk about that. I mean,
Yes.
I love everything that Mr. Love Jones is bringing to the table, and that's why I really wanted to talk to you. So, a couple
Thank
things to
you.
start this whole
I
thing off.
appreciate it.
First off, thank you for spending the time with us, the fans. We love these kind of things right here. Second
I
off,
love you guys.
yeah. Second off, I know we've got a lot going on. The world is topsy turvy, especially with that whole virus thing. It's shut wrestling down right off the ripper. That
Hmm.
damn King COVID. The damn King COVID. Never
Damn.
mind. Never mind. But my point being is, I hope yourself, your family, your friends that surround you, everybody's good out there right now with the whole virus thing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, we are doing very well. We're following what they're all telling us to do, keeping our distance, making sure that we're calling each other, making sure everybody's safe. I hope you and your family are safe as well, and I hope everything is gonna pass by us quickly and swiftly, so we can get back to the way the world should be.
I feel everything you said there, my man. My fam, myself, we're all good so far, so good. Just trying to push through it, doing like you said, doing our thing, trying to keep safe, washing our hands, washing our ass. You got to wash your ass too. Just saying. Uh, but then you want to wash your
A
hands
lot of
again.
people a lot of people need to get that reminder daily. It's sad.
Uh, so you want to do it in that order, though. Wash your hands, wash your ass, and then wash your hands again. You got to get
After
that
that,
sterile.
I
uh,
agree with you.
Mr. Love Jones, you come out, like I said earlier, you come out, you show a lot of love. You're nothing but smiles and fun. That's what we like to do on Stirring the Pot. We take the
Thank you.
negativity, we push it aside. We have a lot of fun with the men and women that we talk to on this show. We like to lift
Hmm.
up the talent. We like to lift up promotions. And we
Yes,
just talk wrestling and Mr. Love Jones. And I know that the fans, once we dive into this, the fans are going to love one Mr. Love Jones just as I do, man. This is going to be fantastic. Now, it is a fine day. I wanted to make sure that we
beautiful,
were outside. It is. It's
beautiful.
gorgeous. I'm
Hmm.
feeling that vibe, my man. Now, I know this is all about Mr. Love Jones right now, but when you guys came out, ACW, you have this thing called the Fun House. I'm
The
very
fun
curious
house.
of the Fun House, and I know we're here for Mr. Love Jones, but you're part of that, and I kind of want to start off with that. The
Absolutely,
Fun
absolutely.
House
The
is
fun
exactly
house.
what it says. The Fun House. You guys
Yes,
are a blast. Talk to us about the Fun House, who's involved, how it came about, a little something on the Fun House, if you could, sir.
I got you. So, Daddy, the fun house. The two gentlemen by my side. They're my brothers. They're my brothers for life. Fungus and Fuego. Fungus, green
Fungus?
jacket. Yes, that is. That name brings about just who is that? When he
Yeah.
comes out, you see the aura, Daddy. Yeah, that right there. That's the leader right there, Daddy. Good old Fungus. He took me under his wing last year with his best friend Fuego. Whoo, we call that boy Sizzle because he's hot. Fuego Fuego does some nice moves that I couldn't even think of, and he pulls them off very well. Those two right there had my back since day one. Ever since I started training, I had a battle royal, and they looked at me and said they see something. So they took me under their wing and trained me some more, showed me the ropes, guided me into a proper human being,
Mhm.
and they made up the Fun House, and we are part of that. We're here to basically have fun, show everybody a good time. That we don't always have to be serious, but we can also handle business, and that's
Yes,
what the Fun House is about.
absolutely. You do bring uh, the entertainment part of wrestling. You're very flashy. Your
Thank
gear,
you.
it's flashy. It stands out. That's what you want in wrestling. You've got to stand out because
Mm-hmm.
you could get lost in the shuffle very easy. Uh,
Absolutely.
so your attire, your personalities, you come out. You're over the top. You're larger than life. You're doing your
Thank you.
thing. You've got the music going on. You've got the dancing going on. The fun house is wrestling, my man. That is wrestling in a package. Uh,
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
that's why I grasped onto you guys, and I was very intrigued on talking to somebody in the fun house. That happened to be Mr. Mike Love Jones. Now, my
Mm.
question is for that whole Funhouse faction, Funhouse faction. Uh,
The double
you have
F.
you have Fuego, you have uh, Fungus, which is very fun to say. Uh, how come you're not named like Flambe or something like that? Where's the three F's? So how come we don't have another F mixed in there?
Feel the love is the F right there, baby.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's the third F. But that's a funny thing. Honestly, Fuego was playing around and said I should change my name to Flamingo Jones, and that was pretty funny. So that would have probably worked out better.
Lots of fun. You guys must have an amazing time all together and doing your thing. What we like to do on here, though,
Yes.
um, when you do the drives and you hit the road and you go from
Hmm.
event to home, from home to event, you do your thing. Uh,
Yes.
and I usually do this at the end of the show, if you
Hmm.
will. But man, you guys are so much darn fun. Is there
Thank you.
any while you're on the road? Is there any fun haha stories you could tell us, the fans, that kind of sticks out?
Oh,
Without
oh
getting
man.
graphic,
Absolutely.
or too
Yes,
detailed.
absolutely. We got some funny ones. We got some very funny ones. So we're on our way to actually the ACW event, which we
Ooh,
almost didn't make
ooh.
because the whole time we're riding down, Fungus and Fuego have this thing where they each think that they're right. So me being in the back, I can't really put my 2 cents in on which way to turn or whatnot. So none of them are wrong in their eyes. So, but this time, Fuego made a wrong turn, and we was damn near almost in Pennsylvania, and we
Oh,
almost missed the show. So we had to turn around and quickly go back to West Nyack. That it was a hectic. We wasted so much money on gas trying to get back. Then after that, we had to make another show in New Jersey, and then we took a wrong exit again because this time Fungus was wrong. And I'm just sitting in the back enjoying my Slim Jims, like, you know what? We don't get fired from everywhere because we never on time. I don't know. We make it though. That's the funny thing. We're always gonna be late, but we're always on time. We're always thinking we're gonna be late. It's like, all right, we're gonna get fired. They're not even gonna let us wrestle
we're gonna
because
get fired.
we're unprofessional. But we make it. We make it. We do our thing. We let everybody have fun. We pack our things and say, and it was a good night. The arguing there and then laughing back. It was a good night, fellas.
Those are those moments though, like fans, us fans would never hear about unless you talented men and women come on the show, hang out, and kind of kick
Yeah.
back a little bit, because the shows are a totally different environment. You kind of talk
Yes.
wrestling, you talk a little bit. It's only for about a minute or two or so, but here, those are the things I absolutely love. We're gonna get fired from everywhere is gonna be the name of the show. I named I named the episode. I name every episode differently, and that's the name of this episode. We're gonna get fired from everywhere.
There's actually a funny story. with that too, because we actually kind of did get fired from a promotion. I won't say the name, but
Okay. No, no, no.
they they hired us back, but it was all my fault. But it's all good. That is sometimes the funhouse does funhouse on and off the camera.
Mm.
But
Hey,
we
that's life. That's life, baby. That's life.
yeah, but we're all human beings. We came to together, and the funhouse has been reinstated.
Nice. Uh, you know what? Isn't it nice when you can kind of kick back and talk and have a good time with these kind of things? Because
Absolutely, it
uh,
feels good.
it because it's such a weird time right now across the
Mhm.
globe. There's again a lot of topsy turvy. We don't talk about
Mhm.
that stuff on here because we just don't get into that stuff.
I
Uh,
understand. Absolutely.
and but the Fun House, you guys have put on an amazing show, and I've only seen you guys one time, and I grasped as a fan. Oh man, I think I just got hit in the head with a pterodactyl. Holy
Oh
cow, man, that
man,
thing was
he
huge.
must have escaped Nirvana. Don't worry, Daddy. I'll save you. They
uh,
have a habit of escaping sometimes.
man, that thing was gigantic. It hit me right in the side of
Mm.
the head. Uh,
Woo.
as a fan, I grasped right onto your characters. Now,
Thank you. We appreciate you.
I want to get into the character of Mike Love Jones because sometimes the characters that you guys girls portray in the ring aren't really that far off from who you really are. And as they say,
Yep.
you just dial it up or get the volume up a little bit and kind of
Mhm.
really portray a character or a gimmick, if you will. So let's
Absolutely.
dive into some of that now. Mike Love Jones, is that your is that what your birth certificate says? You don't have to tell us because fans are freaky, but is that what's on your birth certificate?
The only part that's on my birth certificate is Mike.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool. So you've kind of taken your real name, which many men and women do, and throw it into your wrestling thing, and
Mhm.
it makes it a little bit easier. So you don't have to come up with an odd name that might not work at the beginning and change it down the road or what have you. Uh,
It's funny that you said that.
well, that's where I'm going with it because I love to ask this question. When
Yep.
you very first started, did you have any kooky name like the Christmas creature, like Kane did way back in the day and dressed up like an idiot? What
I
did you do? What
Good
did
old
you two
Isaac
say?
Yankum.
uh, did you have any
Well,
kind of run like that?
when I first came actually to come train in Mr. Gino's school ECPW, God bless that man. He gave me a great opportunity, and I met a lot of great guys. I used to travel down there with this nice big dude, big guy, 6'8", 320 pounds.
Wow,
His name was Achilles.
wow.
Achilles. And he was one of the guys over here in East Coast Professional Wrestling, the Hudson Valley Division, and in New Jersey. And I've always been entertaining type person. I used to dance a lot. I used to sing. I've always been like a flamboyant, out there character. So he
Mhm.
was like, "You're a wrestling fan. Let's bring you over here." At first, we wanted to be a we wanted to be a steampunk tag team, and my name was gonna be Arlo Krishna. Don't know why, but that
Wow.
was gonna be my name. My name was gonna be Arlo Krishna, the Angel of Death. Whoop-dee.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
and
interesting.
yeah, and it took until I took my first bump in suplex. I said, you know what? There's not a lot of love in this. Bingo. And then from there, I just one of my favorite wrestlers, Randy Savage,
Mhm.
Macho Man. Ooh yeah, dig it.
Yeah.
That outlandish, that finesse, that fancy glow, and Shawn Michaels, just
Mm,
how the cockiness, the not even arrogance, just like the fact that he knows he's the man.
right.
I'm I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm one of the greatest. I'm still just starting, but I have a confidence that more and more I do this, It's gonna be a Love Jones everywhere, Daddy.
If you don't have that confidence, sir, again, like you said, not a cockiness, you have to have, and wrestling specifically, if you don't have a confidence about you and just, kind of screw whatever's around you, this is what I'm doing, this is my direction, this is how
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to approach it, without that little
Mm-hmm.
piece of confidence, that's not going to fly, my man. You need that
Exactly.
confidence.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Not only do you have confidence, but you have you put your personality right out there, my friend.
Thank you.
Now, is Mr. Love Jones like that behind the curtain, or do you kind of turn it up for wrestling?
All the way. I'm always like that, Daddy. Sometimes in the back, they say I'm too much, but I tell them that I'm not enough, Daddy.
You're
I
not
tell them
enough.
I'm
Yes.
not enough. Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. I love to hear
Yup.
that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Gotta let them know.
Now, you spoke of some fantastic names, the Shawn Michaels and such, and you mentioned Macho Man. And Macho Man, wow, talk about character, talk about larger than life. Holy cow.
Yes.
I have spoken. I did an interview 2 weeks ago. Wait, 2 weeks ago. I filled in for a friend on his podcast. It's called Behind the
Hmm.
Curtain,
Okay.
and it's with Corey Adams and Mr. Ray, they call him.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Ray ended up in the hospital, so Corey
Oh
asked
man.
me to step in. Well,
Okay.
guess who I spoke with? None other than the fashion designer himself, Michael Braun. Now, if you're
Oh.
not you're familiar with Michael Braun.
I'm familiar with his work. Yeah.
Now, uh, Mr. Savage, Mr. Braun, a big tie-in right there. Uh,
Hmm.
all we did was ask one question, and Mr. Braun talked for 20 minutes straight. I kid you not. Uh, he is such a fascinating man,
Hmm.
not only with the Savage part, Randy Savage part of his life, but
Hmm.
coming up doing the attire in the 60s, if you will, the late 60s, for
Yeah.
some of the greats. And the claim to fame is obviously Jimi Hendrix, but
Hmm.
many more men and women that
The
he's dealt
the
with.
voodoo child himself. Woo, daddy.
Yes. Now, speaking to Mr. Braun, knowing that you like Mr. Savage, now I'm trying to tie this all in with your flashy attire. Do you
Hmm.
take your flashiness maybe from a Macho Man, or is there anybody specific that you kind of took that from, or you come up with it on your own?
Honestly, some parts of it are like inspiration. From when he was the Macho King, when he
Hmm.
had that attire on,
Hmm.
that right there, and the way Jimi Hendrix dressed as well. That's my headband. So I just tied in so many things and want to try to be what can I do to one, okay, the name is good, Love Jones. Okay, that's cool. But what else can I do to stand out? Like everybody could do a moonsault, everybody could flippity do.
Hmm.
So it's like what else can I do? And also Goldust is another one of my inspirations
Wow.
because of how he used to creep people out, get in their head. I love that. I love that, and that's what I do best. Like once I get in here, I already won.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Stopping right there for a second on the gold dust part of it, when he ever got electrocuted way back in the day, one of my most
I
favorite
remember that.
times. Oh my goodness, because of the way it all just went down, and
Oh
then
my!
he took that and he continued it for maybe,
Escalated it.
yeah, but maybe he took it for a too long of a time. I think he could have shortened it for a couple months.
Yeah,
But with the whole dude, I loved
that's gold.
all part of
That's
it.
and he's still going now. Dustin Rhodes is still
Yes,
going. Like the
yeah,
natural. Like that's what I
yeah,
mean. You never stop learning. I love that. That's what I love about wrestling. It gives you a chance to believe in something and do what you really want to do. Show people that no matter how hard something may seem, you're always gonna achieve if you believe. It's
absolutely.
beautiful.
So you have this whole attire thing going on. The character. if you will, it seems to have come together for one, Mr. Love Jones.
Thank you.
I'm just going to put something out there. I don't know if he's actively working because he is, of an older age now. And I know if he is still working, he's very expensive. But Mr. Braun, you're taking from Jimi Hendrix and you're taking from Macho Man. Mr. Braun is the man to speak to right there. I'm saying, baby.
Absolutely.
But
You're
you
right.
probably have to pay big time cash.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't see it any other way. Even paying for his time to talk to me. you know,
Absolutely, man. Mr.
I would
Braun,
love
fascinating, man.
one day I'm gonna be have the opportunity to meet this man, and I'm gonna personally get gear from the man that made Macho Man, and that would be the day that I'm a skyrocket.
Now, you seem to be quite fashionable, and this is kind of where I'm bringing it to. In
hmm
wrestling, again, if you don't stand out, you get lost in the shuffle. You're very flashy with your
hmm
personality, with your attire. But what I'm kind of driving at is Mr. Braun spoke of how Macho Man had zero fashion sense at all. And he was
Really?
like, yeah, zero.
Oh,
Now,
that's interesting.
every yeah, everything that you seen from Macho Man's attire was originally brought to the table by Mr. Braun himself because he would see what Macho Man was originally wearing or what he wanted to become, and he's like, I'm not interested in that. So
Okay,
he took it to the top, if you will,
that's
with all of
beautiful.
even the glasses, my friend. It's an
hmm
amazing story. You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'll share the link with you. I think you'll find it very fascinating. But it's
Yes,
only
please
30.
do.
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes long. We're supposed to
Okay.
do a follow up with him. But I'll also, there was only one interview across the internet that I could
hmm
find. It's a 1 hour interview from a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. It's with Mr.
Okay.
Braun, and it's a 1 hour run. I'll also share that with you because it even gets you a little bit more in depth of him. And man, you're going to love it. I'm telling you.
I know I will, cause like I love anything. I love anything to do with this sport, this world. Like this is amazing, and just the fact that you got to speak to him, that is awesome. That is cool.
Whenever he said, "Hey, I got this guy coming on. I hope you can help me out." I go, "What's his name?" He goes, "Michael Braun." I go, "Wait a minute. Let me Google because now you're freaking me out. Let me Google and make sure we got the same guy in
Yeah,
mind."
let me make sure.
Yeah. And whenever I got back to him and I go, "Oh hell yeah, I am down. Let's do this,"
Absolutely, yeah. You don't
And I
turn
called
that
him
down.
Mr. Braun. I don't really want to say he yelled at me, but he totally corrected me right off the ripper. Call me, hey,
Yeah,
you or Michael. Don't call me Mr. Braun.
yeah. I've gotten a lot of yelled at by the vets in the back by using the word Mister. I'm learning. Like, let me say, I need to stop.
I know, but you know what? I do the same thing, and I
It's just,
when I approach somebody, it's always sir, and
yeah.
they go, dude, you're Don Kincaid. Don't give me no sir. Stop all of that stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm always respectful though. I never disrespect at the shows ever.
And I'm just like that too. That's the way I was raised. Always give respect, and I
Absolutely.
100% understand that.
And as a fan, being able to go across that line, if you will, between wrestler and fan,
hmm
it's an untrusting line because
Yeah.
wrestling fans are very freaky. So for
Yes.
me to be able to cross that line and become really made some great friendships with so
hmm
many men and women in the industry. For me,
Yes.
absolute honor and privilege that I could ever do that. I never thought I'd be able to do that in my entire life. I've always watched wrestling as a kid, went to some events here and there throughout my life, but to be able to cross that line and be trusting in your world by able to reach out to Mr. Jones and get these things like this, an honor and a privilege, sir. And I put that out very all the time.
It's an honor and a privilege for me to even talk to you, sir. Like I've been watching your shows. I've been watching you like interview all these great
Really?
superstars, and like yeah, like I feel like I've watched about like maybe like 5, 10 interviews. Like I watched the ones with you and Ray Jazz, the Filthy Family, Nicole Matala. Like you do great. Like you,
Thank you.
yeah, daddy, yeah, man. They know your swag, baby. Like you talk to great tag teams too. House of Pain. Like I've seen a lot of things. You know. House of Pain. I ran into them. They threw me over the top, and in the Palisades. So I I owe them one. It's all good, daddy.
Some unfinished business, if you will, because
Yeah,
uh, now let's talk about that if we could, real quick. ACW, they did this mall thing at the Palisades, and oh
it
my
was
goodness,
beautiful.
wasn't it not, sir? I've never seen anything like it as a wrestling fan in my life.
Yeah, that was
This
beautiful.
was something very unique, and the crowd that came out, it was approximately 2,000 strong, 4 floors deep. It was absolutely amazing. Never seen anything like it. uh,
Hmm.
I hope when we get back to some kind of normalcy, somehow, some way, sooner than later, if ACW does not reach out to the Palisades, we need to see that again, man. That
I'm.
was absolutely fantastic.
They were very happy with the outcome. They spoken with the owner. And they was very happy with the outcome. So I'm pretty sure after everything is done, they're gonna really reach out again because like everybody had fun. It was a great time. So we're gonna reach out and have some more fun.
You know what was really cool about that? Well, there was a bunch of things cool about that setup. First, if you sat in your seat, I was front row. It was an amazing event. But as you're sitting in your seat, you look up, and again, it's a four floor mall. And when you're looking up, you're like, "Holy shit, this is
Hmm.
crazy!"
I
But
felt
then
like the
the
warrior reaching to the heavens, daddy.
yeah, that's how it was though. But then once the people started filing in and checking it out, they were all overhanging the railings there and really being interested in the
Getting
event.
into it.
And I took some pictures, and it was such a cool
It was
view.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. That was part of it. But another cool part I want to talk about is when, if you're walking in a mall, you walk through, you're walking hand in hand with your girl, or you're hanging out with your bro, you're walking down the mall and you see that some stores are closed inside or there's a coming soon. That's where you guys and girls were kind of doing it, was in a closed store. You open the door and son of a bitch, there's all you guys and girls inside that room.
Hmm.
And I'm like, whoa, this is cool, man. So how cool was it to come out from like that kind of atmosphere, walk through the mall, go through that little area, and go into that big kind of entrance thing? Wasn't that awesome?
It was honestly, it was overwhelming. Like when I was in the back, this always happens to me though. It's always the first 10 seconds right before my music hits. Um, I become so humble and human. I pray. I thank God for this opportunity for me even being here because, like, I didn't even know I was even able to do this. Like, this is hard. Like, so any opportunity I get, anything, this interview, every match, every headlock, everything is just a blessing because I didn't know I would be here. So I get a little nervous, but once that music hits and I go out there, they gonna feel the love, daddy, and everybody feel the vibes, and we having fun. I was so happy interacting with the fans, saw the little kids. You see, that's what we who are for the kids, for the families. Bring everybody together and just show that we can have a good time despite all of our differences. You know.
Absolute. And I've said this a few years, well, probably like a couple years back. I've been in independent wrestling for about 4 years now. But
Congrats. God bless you.
about 2 years ago, I saw smoke coming down from the hill. I think the fam is starting a little fire down there. That's going to be cool. Maybe we should walk down and see what's good.
Little bonfire, okay, little
Yeah,
barbecue.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, so what I did put out about 2 years ago is the thing I love about wrestling. It
Hmm.
brings all races, all religions, all political views, all weights, all heights. everything. I kind of did a nice little list of how many differentials there are within people. It brings us all together for 3 hours or so. And
Mm-hmm.
man, we forget everything that's going on in the world. We are there for the moment. And man, do we always have a hell of a time. That's what wrestling does for me, in all honesty. It gets us away from the bullshit, the work, the dumb stuff that happens, and we
Mm-hmm.
go to wrestling to kind of escape. That's what I kind of use it for. Not only that,
Absolutely.
but I love it. I mean, besides that,
Yes, I love
but
it too.
I think
Though
it's a universal thing like that, though. What
it's
I'm trying to say.
beautiful. Wrestling brings out emotions just like music does.
Mhm.
Um, even when living it up in Hotel California, stuff like that. It's just a lovely place that brings you to. Even if you've never been there, it just feels like yes, I feel like I've been there. That's what wrestling does. One of the moments, just like you said, it brings everybody together. When Shawn Michaels had to retire, that was probably one of the worst days of my life. Shawn Michaels was like my idol. I cried. I was in the audience when Sid Vicious beat up Jose Lotharios and powerbombed Shawn to become the new WWE champion. Oh my God, you couldn't tell me anything. I cried all the way home from Madison Square Garden. So when fast forward, he comes back from his back injury, Elimination Chamber, Madison Square Garden. I'm in the crowd again. Shawn Michaels is the champion after 5 years. Some stranger and kids I don't even know. We're just hugging and we're acting like we're family. It was just amazing. Just like you said, it brings people together. I don't know these kids' names at all, but we were hugging and celebrating like we won the World Series together. So it was cool. Like
Yeah,
that, moments like that, or I love that. that's wrestling right there. That
absolutely. I totally agree with you there because I went to a show before this, a couple months before the whole virus thing hit. It's
okay,
called Survival Championship Wrestling. They ran in
okay,
Rensselaer, New York,
oh,
and it was effing fantastic. Now,
okay.
I didn't know many of the people that were working on the card, but I also, in the same token, did know many men and women that were working on that card.
Hmm.
And it was fantastic to make some new friends out there and connections, if you will. But speaking on the fan end of it, I'm
Hmm.
front row. Now the entrance comes out. I'm on the left side, first seat on the corner. I love that entrance part. I love the entrance
Yeah.
part. Oh, God, I absolutely do. Now to my left are two guys that came together. They didn't know me from a bag of shit, and I didn't know them either. Now, here comes Mike Skyros. Are you familiar with Mr. Mike Skyros, sir?
I am not, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, Mr. Mike Skyros and we are familiar with each other, and I boo the piss out of him, let me tell you. Now, uh, when he comes out, now, a lot of the fans, because it's a debut event here,
Okay,
the fans really came out. It was a great packed show. But the thing is, if you don't know the talent, you kind of don't know how to react.
I understand.
And until they come out of the curtain, give you those signals. But I know the music and such, so I'm booing, and I mean I'm booing loud and proud, and I don't give a shit who says any different. So here comes Mike Skyros. I am already booing because of his music is playing, right? He comes walking in, and I can already see it in his eyes that he is gonna shit on me automatically, right? So here comes Mike Skyros, and he comes walking around right into the front of the thing, and I'm booing, and I've got my phone, and I'm recording, and Skyros is just digging in on me with his looks, and I'm doing this in my chair. I totally end up in the kid who I'm sitting next to. I'm in his like arm lap, if you will, kind of thing, his side, and he's looking down at me, going, "Dude, you're gonna get me killed. Get off of me!" And so the Mike Skyros gets in. We kind of do our thing, and then the good guy, the face comes out, if you will. And I look to
Yeah.
the guy to my left, and I totally go, "Dude, I didn't mean to get you involved, but that guy's big and I'm small." So I just kind
Need your help.
of
We gotta
But
stick together. We fans. We gotta stick together.
but those are the things we talk about. That is what wrestling does, my man, right there.
Absolutely. Yep. I love it. Wrestling brings
Uh,
people together, and just like that, it makes you have a memory that's gonna last forever.
oh,
You know.
I'll never forget that. Are you kidding me? I have a picture from a guy called Dan the Photo Man who goes around to the shows and he's a professional photographer. Look him up. You'll see
Okay.
some cool shit. Yeah, he's a
Okay.
good guy.
Dan the Photo Man. Okay.
Dan the Photo. Yeah, you can't forget that. Uh,
Absolutely not.
I'm going to take that picture of Sky Rose digging into me. You're going to absolutely love it. It was
I,
fantastic.
I like that.
And he never even said a word. It was his eyes and his body movement. You know, that was all it took. I'm like, oh,
That's all it
shit.
takes. That's all it takes. That's freaking funny.
Now let's dive into a little bit of Mr. Mike Jones some more.
No
Mike Love
problem.
Jones. Mike Love Jones. You talk about that you haven't been in a game very long. Tell us, the fans, how long have you been in wrestling right now?
I had my first match May 18th, 2019.
Whoa! Stop! Pause. Just hit the pause button. You're telling me you just started this last year. You've got all of this charisma. You've got all of this going on. The pizzazz, the music, the dancing, connecting with the fans. And you just started last year?
Yes, sir. In
Wow.
Middletown, I went 1-on-1 against Attilio April. And that was a great first opportunity because he's one tough son of a bitch. I'll tell you that. And luckily, with the help of the Funhouse, I came out victorious. Hey, whatever the referee doesn't see, it's not illegal.
I know. And, you know, and I kind of get on the heels, if you will. You're a cheater. You know how we cheat. You know, we chant cheater and stuff. And he goes, it's not cheating if you don't get caught. So it is what it is.
Just like the late great Eddie Guerrero, Daddy. You already know, Daddy. If you're not cheating, you're not winning.
Now you've been in the game for a year. You
Yes,
seem to
sir.
have a lot of fun. You connect with the fans.
And
You
I'm
come
very
out as
humble for every experience that I had
a-
over
a-
this year.
absolutely. Now you come out as a baby face, if you will, a good guy. Has that been your projection the whole time?
It actually fluctuates. It depends. It all depends on how I feel. Certain days I want to feel the love by myself. So certain days I just want to and it's not me disliking fans or me being the heel. I just if I feel I have to win, I have to win. That is Ric Flair, Eddie Guerrero. Sometimes you gotta bend the rules. That is, you gotta bend the rules to be the champion. But I love people. I gotta make them all. That's why I'm here. Like there's too much. There's too much of the scruffy guy. There's too much of the big bad guy from the dumpster. There's too much of that. Daddy. They need.
A guy from the dumpster. That's awesome.
They need somebody fresh, somebody new, somebody that's an angel from above to make you have fun and feel the love.
Absolutely. Now we're talking some Mike Love Jones, but I also want to talk about I am representing the Filthy Family, and you did kind of
Long
mention,
live the filthy family.
and as Mr. Dirtbag Dan likes to say, the Farley family because of what's going on with him and Big Cal.
Good
Oh God, do I love
good old big cow.
Uh,
Mm.
and I know we are trying to focus on Mr. One Love Jones, but I like to tie in different names because you have mentioned the ECPW and Mr. Dirtbag Dan. He has gone through one ECPW, don't we know that? But
Hmm.
also, he's come through a lot of my home base promotions,
Absolutely.
being East Haven,
Battlefront,
Connecticut.
test of
Yeah,
strength.
Test of Strength, Paradise Alley. We've got
Hmm.
those, you know, and we have an absolute blast. And I will tell you one thing: I have latched on to Dirtbag Dan's character because he's just a regular guy. He's like, you know, he's a
Hmm.
punk. He's a punk rocker. He's filthy. He's nasty. He just wants to beat people up. He'll take that armpit and shove it in your face. I
Right
call
in
it
your
chemical.
face, daddy. Ugh. Oof.
I call it the chemical warfare. That's what I entitle
Woo! I like
it.
that. He gonna have to pay you for making up names because that was good. I like that. What gets
uh,
me, my favorite thing about Dirtbag Dan is his theme song. Like I could be a mark for a second, daddy. Like that theme. So once Dirtbag Dog's theme song hits, I have no other reason but to yeah, daddy. Dirty Dan Two Belts. I
yeah,
see you.
he is, baby. Oh, not only that, since we are Turkin. Oh, I get all excited when I talk to Filthy Family and Dirtbag. Since we are speaking of the Dirtbag, he is now the two-time has regained the Battlefront Hardcore Championship
Hardcore
from one Ryan
championship.
Frost. Woo, baby! I was there.
That
I
match,
recorded that.
that match was crazy. I watched it.
Oh man,
That's how you beat people up and establish your dominance.
uh, took a cheese grater that was taped to his skull bone, if you will. He took a DDT, survived just that alone to get through that. I mean, holy
The
crap!
love, the love has been through a street fight. I've been through a door. I've been hit with a
Ooh,
kendo stick. But
ooh.
what those two men do, that those are two tough summer bitches right there.
Mm. Uh, now, could you talk to us because yeah, you popped pretty much. We're talking about the Filthy Family and Dirtbag Dan. Uh, could you talk to us a little about your relationship, maybe? Because I love to hear about that brotherhood behind the curtain that's talked about. And I know that you've got some love for Dirtbag Dan and company. Could you
Hmm.
talk to us about the Filthy Family a little bit?
I love all three of those men. Whether they are together, whether they hate each other, whether or not they're stable, all three of those men are my brothers. Dirtbag Dan helped train me. Big
Ooh,
Cal helped train me. Johnny
ooh,
Chill helped train me. I've
oh,
got
wow.
I've gotten to learn from all three of these great superstars. Dirtbag Dan was the one to show me, look, man, sometimes you gotta be aggressive. Like we get the sirs and we get that you're respectful, but you gotta, and excuse my French, you gotta not be a bitch. And
Mm-hmm.
he's right. He's definitely right. Big Cal, big man, quick, agile, put that body on you. He works. He shows me how to work. I like that big man. They always invite me, just the like behind the scenes stuff. They always invite me down to come down where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
The love was probably gonna be in his corner, but circumstances I wasn't able to come down. So they always think of me when they travel far, which is a rare thing in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
To have people look out for you, the Fun House, these guys, you, everybody that's been helping me, like to have people look out, reach out, and like go that extra mile to help you
Mm.
is amazing. So I will never forget any of you people.
The Filthy Family, absolutely love all of them. Uh, I was trying to get them to maybe, settle their differences over here at the DK Wasteland. Uh,
Hmm.
maybe take the drive out, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I can't pull those three in like that. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
uh,
it's hard pulling those three.
oh yeah, I would absolutely love to see one Mike Love Jones when they start coming back. We get that wrestling thing going on. When they start coming as a test of strength, the PAPW and the Battlefront, I would love to see one Mr. Mike Love Jones join that
One
car line
hundred
because
percent. Before this year is over, when everything comes back, the love is gonna come
mm,
down to your area, Daddy. I got you,
that's
baby.
awesome. That is awesome. I cannot wait till that day happens. Uh, Now back to Mr. Mike Love Jones. Your character, is there a backstory to your character? Does he represent anything, or what's going on with the Mike Love Jones?
Mike Love Jones. Basically, my character is like I said, my inspiration I got from Jimi Hendrix. I see Jimi Hendrix, and I love that song Voodoo Child. And like he brings you into a different world. When you hear Jimi Hendrix, he brings you into a different realm, if you may.
Mhm.
Like the way he dresses, the way his aura is, just by looking at him and how he plays that guitar, you're seeing a different kind of human. So
Absolutely.
I wanted that effect. Like,
Okay.
who is that? What is this guy? He's so he's so flamboyant. He's so, and like not only do I relate to like a Randy Savage little, oh, he's fast like Shawn Michaels, oh, but he also got that swag, that little slow movement 60s like the good old Jimi Hendrix, you
Mhm.
know? That's why my theme, I have two theme songs, the Funhouse one, and my other one is a little like a Jimi Hendrix type, like a original beat that I had my friend make for me.
Nice.
One day I'm gonna debut that one when the time is right.
Uh, Now, do you like singles wrestling or do you like tag team wrestling over one another?
I that's actually hard because like honestly, I'm gonna say why too. I love singles wrestling because I hate waiting to get tagged in. I'm always on go, daddy. It's like I don't I don't tire. Like I love working. I love taking control. I love being in a troubled situation and getting myself out of it. I love
Mhm.
knowing different ways to reverse my opponent, to defeat my opponent, to make him tap out. I used to box before this. When I
Oh,
was 9 years old, from 9 to 22, I was a boxer. So I'm always out
really?
running, jogging. I'm smaller than all the other wrestlers because usually I had to stay at 135. So now I'm up to like 190 ish, but it's like that's still not. I'm saying I could be on. I could be on 205 live, but put me in there again with the House of Pain, and that's my. I might not come out the same. Yeah.
Speaking of the House of Pain, you've mentioned them twice now. At 8 p.m. tonight, I have Big Daddy Dre coming
Ooh,
on this show. And man, that is going to be interesting because
cool.
uh, Mr. Nick Payne, Mr. Hakim Ali, and Mr. Big Daddy Dre, I don't think they see eye to eye. It's been a very long time. So I'm
Mm.
very, very interested. That's why I reached out to one Big Daddy Dre. I have talked to the House of Pain, so now I am very curious on Big Daddy Dre's kind of perspective, if you will. See what the hell he's been up to because he's walked away from wrestling, it seems.
Really?
So I don't know what's going on with Mr. Big Daddy Dre, but we're gonna find out tonight on Stirring the Pot. So that's going to
That
be interesting.
that sounds like a mind that's been in and out of the House of Pain that knows a thing or two.
Absolutely, and
Might have to listen into that.
that would be fantastic, and I appreciate that because
Absolutely.
me as a fan, I am totally intrigued when factions split. But
Mm.
we see what happens in the ring. But since I started doing these interviews and I get to sit down and talk to the men and women that I see in the ring, that is what really that's the first thing I'm gonna ask him. What the f is going on? Pretty much, like. But yeah, I am so blessed to have the connection with all you men and women, and I get to sit down. We get to,
Um,
we the fans, we get to know you because we don't get to know you outside the ring like this. So
yeah.
these things are always fantastic for me. So when I started it up, and you guys were responding yes instead of no, I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah. This is beautiful what you're doing too. And like I said, I'm
Oh,
humbled
thank you.
to even be thought about,
Uh,
so I
is
appreciate it.
this Have you done interviews before or podcasts, or is this something new for you?
I've done one podcast before, just not like a video one. I've been on the Slow Pitch Wrestling
Oh, okay.
podcast. Those are those are great dudes as well. So like I've been on like audio, but
Mhm.
it was choppy. It was my first time. I've done the promos, but this is a good out of character, if you may, interview. I've never done this, so this is
Well,
this is great.
That's awesome because that's what we like around here. We try to pull back the curtain a little bit,
Yeah.
and bring the wrestling entertainment value. We try to kind of
Mm-hmm.
just push it to the side a little bit and be able to kind of, where does he come from? What does he represent and such? And I want to know
Mm-hmm.
what Mike Love Jones is and his backstory and you know and stuff like that. So that's why I do these things. So we get to
Thank you.
really get a little bit more out of you, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Now,
appreciate it.
when we get back from this whole mess that's going on with the virus, and we can actually sit down and have some cool events, uh, where or who? Okay, a couple parts of the question. Who do you have in your sights? Anybody specific when you come back and be like, you know what? I want X, X, and X on my plate because they could challenge me in my career. And
Mm-hmm.
are there any promotions that you have on the table that you would really, really like to go to that you haven't been to before?
The East Coast Professional Wrestling Hudson Valley World Champion, Migs.
Oh, man, you went right to the top, baby.
I've been watching ECPW, the New Jersey division, and the Hudson Valley division since maybe 2014. I've been
Wow.
in all their shows. A lot of their shows have been in my hometown, so I've always been a fan, and I finally am one of them. I'm finally part of the boys. I'm part of the roster. I am no longer behind the barricade. I'm behind the curtain. So I want to prove that I've matured, that I've gotten better, and that I am an elite threat to the world title. So I'm going straight after the world championship. And whoever I have to go through is who I have to go through. And also, after that's conquered, checklist, I want to like to make my way down to test the strength and
Ooh.
to Battlefront. There's a lot of places that the love will love to go, and he's gonna work hard and be there.
Uh, I love to hear that because without the multiple experiences and multiple promotions, it's very hard to persevere and get more eyes. A, fans, B, promoters, and
Mm-hmm.
C, your peers that are out there because we all watch footage. We all look at the media that comes out. So
Yep.
doing the drives, and that's excellent. I can't wait to see you make those connections and see you go for a championship. Speaking of which, I actually I stalked your favorite. I mean, I follow your face page a little bit, and I see that you're holding up a championship. What's going on with that championship, my friend?
Luckily for the Freebird rules, the Funhouse are former tag team champions, all three of us. We became the tag team champions last October. ECPW Hudson Valley Tag Team Champions, the Los Intocables. They were defeated by Fungus and Fuego. Love
Fungus, I love
Jones, Fungus. Love Jones as the manager. You could call me Michael Hayes if you will.
that.
So the the Funhouse Freebirds became your tag team champions. The Los Intocables wanted their rematch quickly. They didn't even think. They just wanted it. They jumped the gun. So at our next event in November in Highland Mills, while great leader Fungus became the contract in the case winner, this was a six-man elimination match which Fungus was victorious in.
Wow.
Thus, he became the contract in the case winner, and he can challenge for any title he pleases. So, with that momentum, we felt good. I was tasked with Fuego to defend our precious tag team titles. With a valiant effort, we whipped their ass. They whooped our ass. But here's the controversy. They hit me with the doomsday. 1, 2, 3. That's fine and well. I took the loss like a man. The legal man didn't make the pin.
Oh.
They never tagged in. There's a controversy behind that. It's on my page somewhere. I think I'm gonna show you it later.
Yeah,
There's
please.
so knowing that the illegal man made the 3, I should be still the tag team champion. So there's a whole. Once this is over, we got to get those back as well. That almost
Uh,
slipped my mind, actually.
that is very unfinished business, it seems like, sir.
Los Intocables stole what is rightfully the Funhouses.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So you definitely have your plate full. I can see that. When we come back, you definitely have some things going on. You have your vision sought out, and you know exactly what you want to do. Now, as far as being a wrestler, some are comfortable staying on the independent scene, and some want to get to that big platform, if you will, being the WWE, or now there's many other choices with the Impact, the AEW, NWA now, ROH. You have the New Japan. There's a lot of stuff going on. Is Mike Love Jones? Is he looking to stay within the independent scene, or is he looking to get to that big platform? Maybe getting signed at the Performance Center, getting into NXT, and working his way up to Raw or SmackDown.
My goal is to be NXT World Champion. That is
Ooh,
the goal. That is, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. That's the goal. That is the
wow.
dream. That is why I bust my ass to become. I love the indies. I love wrestling. I'm proud to even be a part of this. Like I said, this is hard. And honestly, indies is fun. I love it. And there's been a lot of successful independent stars who've never even made it to the WWE. And I'm fine with receiving a paycheck and traveling to different places and doing what I do best, getting love from the fans regardless. I love that. But ever since I've seen, even back when the NXT was a reality show, because I used to
Mhm.
even watch the ECW. It wasn't ECW, but you know what I mean. They revamped
Yeah.
it. It was wrestling. Christian is a great in-ring general, and people overlooked that because they was mad nobody was going through flaming tables. So when it was transitioning from that to NXT, I was always thought, oh, this is funny. This is a cool concept. And then
Mhm.
they had the tournament, and then I seen Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal fight for that belt. Those matches were amazing, and then just Neville, Sami Zayn. The way NXT is actually in the same college I used to attend to for a few months. Full
Oh, no
Sail.
kidding. Hmm.
I used to attend it online because I never traveled down there, but they invited me to free events to come watch NXT.
That's awesome.
But ever since I just seen it, I just NXT just feels that's the atmosphere for a Love Jones.
Mm.
That's an atmosphere for like my persona. Like I just love it. I love closed environments. I just it just has a good feel, and just being at a takeover, becoming NXT World Champion. I think I could die that day because I'll be good. There's nothing. There's really nothing
uh,
else.
so your answer is, on that WWE level, it's expected, but it's also surprising because people always want that WrestleMania moment, but you want that takeover moment. And we just had, now I do a fan roundtable. I get like
Hmm.
6 fans and myself and a special guest. We connect, we hang out, and we talk promotions and talent. Now, this past Saturday, NXT happened to be the main topic, which was kind of odd because we usually talk local independent wrestling, but NXT became a topic. And around the entire table, I did a round robin question because of the topic we were on. What
Hmm.
do you find more exciting, the NXT takeovers or the WrestleMania big pay-per-views? Because when you watch a takeover on a Saturday and then you watch a big pay-per-view on that following day on a Sunday, you're like, man, give me that takeover back because that was a hell of a time. And it wasn't as long, and they gave
Yeah.
us a better product. Now, uh, now I see where you're going with that. But why not the WrestleMania moment and the takeover moment?
Cause I'm more of an underdog type person. Like I'm not saying like I like to be in self pity and feel bad harm myself. I make mistakes and not overcome them, but WrestleMania is expected. You know, like it's when you hear WrestleMania, it's like, all right, like we know how great those guys. Like they don't even technically. Like I'm not gonna say they don't have to try. Of course they have to try, but it's like Batista, John Cena, Undertaker. Those names are like that's they could just walk down and they're everybody's gonna order that pay-per-view if they're there. You know what I'm saying? Not
Yep.
too many people are gonna order NXT if Cassius Ono is on it,
Mhm.
or Tyler Bates or Johnny Gargano's. Those I want to see those guys because I
Mm.
know they're not gonna main event WrestleMania, and they're main eventing Takeover, which is still selling out. They're giving out their heart because it's harder. They're not 6'5", 350 pounds. They're not slamming Andre. They're not giving the Big Show the attitude adjustment. Like you know what I'm saying? They're they're wrestling. They're
Mm.
showing skills without being so big. Not even doing high flying stuff. The Johnny Gargano Adam Cole series is the most phenomenal shit I've seen in probably wrestling history.
Mm.
Maybe their trilogy was better than Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart's Iron Man match, and that's saying a lot because I love those two. That's crazy, but the way the crowd was into that 2 out of 3 falls match, and the way he kept kicking out, and it just wow, that those moments like NXT it feels like brings out more and without having to do the flaming table barbed wire stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
wrestling. I love that.
I can. I'm with you on that ride, my man, because again, it was all the way around. Everybody agreed that those NXT takeovers they really give us a little bit something something, and we stick with those, and we can't wait for it. Now we have an in your house coming up this
Oh
Sunday.
my god, see, I kind of marked that again because yo, In Your House was my favorite pay per view growing up. That shit. If they don't have a porch, I'm turning it off. I'm turning
Oh
it
no
off.
no!
There
Hey,
better be
listen,
a porch.
I kind of like to keep an eye on the pulse and stuff. I don't read the dirt sheets because I don't want to know the
Yeah,
goings on of the spoilers, if you will. But
I
I do try to
understand
keep
that.
my eye on the pulse, and I am to understand that the production is going to be quite retro and familiar to us fans that love In Your House. So I am so waiting for that. Yes, sir.
Oh, that is
That's going
amazing.
to be a good day. Hey, with or without fans, just seeing the In Your House
Yeah,
is going to
you
be
even need.
amazing.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about too. Like I
Please.
know like the no fans thing is a it's I'm not saying it because like I'm glad because like what's going on, but the no fans thing really put a more aspect onto the wrestling part. Like we're paying attention more to
Mm,
how people are working and now there's no fans anywhere. So they're all now when I'm watching Impact, when I'm watching Raw, I'm watching the same thing. Like I don't feel like I'm better than you because we're on Monday Night Raw. Now you really have to show if you're better than them because there's no crowd. Like there's a lot of people who watch wrestling or Raw and SmackDown because of the crowd. They're like,
right.
oh look, there's 72,000
15,000. Yeah.
people there, so they must be the best. Oh, Impact has 1,200. They're whack. That's still 1,200 people is still a lot of freaking people.
Mhm.
Like, give me 1,200 people every night. I'll be good. Like, that's beautiful, right? That's 1,200 cameras.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I, I'm with you on that aspect, my friend. Now, we've talked so much about Mr. Love Jones, some of your peers. We've talked
Mm,
wrestling. Uh, I mean, you've been an absolute joy, and I could talk to you for hours and hours, my friend. This has been
thank you.
absolutely amazing, and this is the first time we've ever met.
Yes.
To be honest with you, because I've only seen you perform. I shared your match. We've never even really talked at all, so this is
Nope.
absolutely fantastic. I appreciate
Great
it.
vibes. Great
Absolutely.
vibes. So I got a lot of love for you, my
Oh, thank you. And I absolutely truly appreciate all of the kind words that you've said, that you watch the product, you dig what I'm doing and all of that stuff. I really enjoy, I appreciate those words, my friend. I really do. That's because you're sitting here. I do. I
No,
absolutely do.
absolutely. I thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, these things, there's no time limit, but I kind of like to run them about an hour because if we sit and
Mm-hmm.
talk and talk and talk,
Mm-hmm.
then we wouldn't be able to talk to you later on down the road because you're very young in your career.
Thank
So,
you.
what I'd kind of like to do is maybe bring this down to a tail end here
Okay.
and do a follow up in the future because when
I'm with
wrestling
it.
comes, oh, that would be amazing. Because when wrestling comes back, and I know Mr. Love Jones is going to do some more fun stuff out there, I want to be able to talk to him and see what he's doing, see what's happened since we've
Thank
last
you.
talked and stuff like that. So we could set that up later on down the road. That would be amazing.
Sounds good to me.
So what I'd like to kind of do is there fan page or anywhere on Facebook, YouTube, the Twitter, if you will, that we, the fans, can connect with Love Jones and get some more
Mm-hmm.
eyes on you?
Absolutely. You could contact me at the Mike Love Jones Facebook page and the Funhouse Facebook page. Also, my Instagram is at Love Voodoo Child. So you could put love underscore voodoo child, and that's me. My Twitter is just how you think it is, baby. It's the love Jones. Um, and that's hey. And if you guys are gamers, you can hit me up on PlayStation 4. My name is Love Jones on PlayStation 4 as well. So hit me up. We could play some games, interact, talk to me. You know, I interact with anybody.
That's fantastic. Doing all of that interaction with the fans, especially on the social media, I really think it's a vital tool to have as a wrestler, my friend. So I applaud
Absolutely.
you on doing that. Uh,
Thank you.
so before I do let you go, I'm not a gamer specifically, but I used to be.
Hmm.
What's your go-to when you turn on the PlayStation? What's your go-to game?
Good old wrestling.
Hmm.
Anything wrestling. WWE 2Ks. No Mercy for Nintendo 64. I still got it somewhere in there. It's somewhere in the old. I also love playing Resident Evil. Um, I'm a zombie guy and like that. I love third person where you can actually see the character, and Resident Evil is like a realistic, like, all right, what the hell would I do if this was happening? So I, I like those. Yeah.
It's funny you say wrestling games. I haven't played on a platform in many, many years. And when I talk many years, like uh, N64, hanging out with my daughter when she was growing up, is probably the last platform I ever played on. I shit you not. But this past Christmas, do you know who El Jabroni is out of, oh, hell, El Jabroni? I miss me some El Jabroni. I hope he's well. Do you know
Hmm.
of El Jabroni?
I know of him. Yes, of him.
Okay. I had him over my house for Christmas.
Okay.
Myself, El Jabroni, my nephew Jacob, and my little step granddaughter, if you will, Celine. We all hooked up his SNES and we played the old school WrestleMania with the Yokozuna. You only had like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, the six or eight guys to pick from, and what a debacle!
Yokozuna. Oh
Yeah,
my! And Doink was in it too. I think
yeah,
it was Doink,
wham, wham,
Undertaker.
wham, wham. Yeah.
Oh, when he had the bat. Oh my God! That game was awesome. I don't care what nobody says. That was the best.
It was. That
When you
was
was the
fantastic.
Undertaker, you actually hit them with a tombstone. That was funny. That was
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
What a fantastic time we had. I got my ass kicked. I'm not good at those games. I did get my ass. Oh man, Mr. Love Jones, you've made me smile from before we even hit the record button, and we're still sitting here. We're laughing. We're smiling. It's been
Having a good time.
an amazing time with
Thank
Mr.
you.
Love Jones, and I cannot thank you
Thank
enough for
you.
coming.
And I can't thank you enough for having me, my man. It was
I
good.
appreciate that.
It was good
Uh,
taking a break from Nirvana to come spend time with you, my guy.
yes, sir. I appreciate that so much, and we're gonna have a fantastic day because I got a fan roundtable at 2. I got Big
Mm,
Daddy Trey at 8 p.m. So we're gonna have a hell of a day today,
that's
and
good.
I cannot wait to see Well, Mr. Love Jones, boys and girls, if you don't know who he is, I know he's got a short career here right now, a very young career, if you will. Look him up. Check out some of his stuff. I think you'll be very entertained. You see what he's doing in the ring. You're going to have a lot of fun with him and appreciate what he's bringing to the table. So look him up, check him out. And I can't wait to see what Mr. Mike Love Jones brings us in the future. With that being said, this was Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid. And my and I know I did very twice, even at the intro, but I have to with my man, Mike Love Jones, my very special guest, Mike Love Jones. Thank you so much, my man.
Thank you. Have fun. Have a great day and feel the love.